You're breaking down the news, people. I want you to share this to all of the island people, them. After about 10 million years of being the presidential advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci decide he's going to walk away. And finally, the social media oligarchs have loosened their grip on the mouths of the population and have allowed us to speak more freely on the current and our previous pandemic. And Dr. Anthony Fauci is the focal point. You know what I'm talking about? COVID-19. So we found this new vitamin called the sunshine vitamin that seems to be well known to everyone in the medical field. Because as we are finding out, melanated, what they call black people, are more susceptible to having low vitamin D. So they are more susceptible to have low immunity, and they are more susceptible, known by Dr. Anthony Fauci, that they would be vulnerable to the coronavirus, the COVID-19 virus. How do I know that? Because on the NIH, the National Institute of Health, which Dr. Anthony Fauci is in charge of, they write about vitamin D. You see Dr. Buttar on the screen there. He was one of the doctors in 2019-2000. This book is by Judy Mikovits. Judy Mikovits, there she is a stellar champion. She was a former employee of Dr. Anthony Fauci, and she knows a lot about the researches. There have been many researches by many clinicians. Even Theodore Ambroston, the head of the World Health Organization, knows that vitamin D is an immune builder. I knew that, and I'm not a doctor, because I've done research, ladies and gentlemen, and all points to vitamin D deficiency and magnesium deficiency, because these two vitamins help build the immune system. Now, I have few videos that I'm going to play the audio from, just to let you know that these people know this. They knew this from day one, long time ago. And as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, the right hand of the governmental body suffocate the voice of the people by blocking, banning, and setting up policies, as you see, it's slowly being revealed that the sunlight is the primary source of vitamin D. And certain foods, of course, as you see on the screen, eggs, fish, fresh cold water fish, and exposure, direct exposure. I'm not talking about you have on your jacket and you go outside in the sun. It's good to even take your shirt off and let the sun hit your skin. Now, Dr. Anthony Fauci knows that. But what he did, recommend isolating, locking down the people and keeping them inside. Now, the tenure of this person here is over 50 years. Meaning he have worked in his position advising the United States presidents for over 50 years. If you're talking about Dr. Frankenstein, you are looking at him, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now, this is not a blame Fauci or boss Fauci episode. Like I said, I have audios here from many different sources recognizing the importance of vitamin D, the importance of sunlight, the importance of direct exposure, because only the sun is the primary source and certain fatty food. Now people, listen to this news clip here that I'm about to play.
It might be a good time to get a little extra sun. A lack of sunshine can lead to vitamin D deficiency, which might impact your risk of getting COVID-19.
You hear what she said?
Connects the dots.
Me I gonna make you speak again. Listen to what she said, cause this news clip been out since January of 2001. And it got about 800 views. So that means it's been shadow banned already. Them don't want nobody hear these things. Listen, I am not telling you that this is an alternative to any vaccine, because they want you to say it's 100%. So see that. Now me is a youth who is a Rasta youth. I mean not tell you no time to follow what Babylon tell you for do. I'm saying pick sense out of nonsense. If vitamin D build your immune system, why Dr. Anthony Fauci, the United States, told people to stay inside out of the sun? But listen what the news I say. Me not say nothing, me I'll make you listen.
Be a good time to get a little extra sun. A lack of sunshine can lead to vitamin D deficiency, which might impact your risk of getting COVID-19. Jerry Carnes connects the dots.
Especially black people.
It's called the sunshine vitamin. Exposure to the sun helps boost your body's vitamin D levels.
What him say?
Called the sunshine vitamin. Exposure to the sun helps boost your body's vitamin D levels. New research is shining light on vitamin D's impact on our odds of getting the coronavirus. Let's connect the dots. An estimated 1 billion people worldwide suffer from a vitamin D deficiency.
A
study
billion
conducted by the
people
University
worldwide.
of Chicago Department of Medicine found the risk of testing positive for COVID-19 is greater in patients that suffer from a vitamin D deficiency. Another study found patients with insufficient levels of vitamin D were more likely to get seriously ill. The World Health Organization says there isn't enough data to determine if vitamin D supplements would be effective in avoiding or treating COVID-19. Scientists say more research is needed and advise talking to your doctor before taking vitamin supplements.
And that's them key. More research is needed. Judy Mikovich, I listened to her and she explained from the mRNA vaccine, the messenger RNA vaccine, what the government and the WHO and Dr. Anthony Fauci have claimed to have developed, sends a message to the RNA that says that, yo, create this serum or create this so-called vaccine to protect yourself and make your body react a certain way. Now, a simple thing, like I tell you, Dr. Buttar, them say I'm crazy. Dr. Judy Mikovich, them say she crazy. And that is a technique of discrediting anyone that actually says anything contrary to what they're saying. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I am not saying this is a cure. I am not saying that vitamin D stops the coronavirus. What I'm saying is that the doctors know that vitamin D is an immune builder. You are going to
Connection. Researchers around the world
Listen to
trying to
this other
determine
news
whether
station.
vitamin D deficiency may have something to do with how likely you are to catch COVID-19 and then how severe it could get.
Yeah, Katie, there have been a bunch of studies linking vitamin D and COVID, but the key question for researchers, is there a cause and effect relationship here or just a loose connection? Tonight.
All right. Remember the last one said there's not enough evidence. You hear what this one said? There has been a bunch of studies. You guarantee? So that's the game they keep playing. There's not enough evidence when from 1991 they have these studies. 2017, 2013, Harvard did a study. The other study you heard, they said Chicago. Listen up.
Vitamin D deficiency may have something to do with how likely you are to catch COVID-19 and then how severe it could get.
Yeah, Katie, there have been a bunch of studies linking vitamin D and COVID, but the key question for researchers, is there a cause and effect relationship here or just a loose connection? Tonight, the Health Insider team taking that debate
just
to
a
the
loose
experts.
connection, people.
If you've been in the vitamin aisle lately, you may have noticed something missing. An empty space between the bottles of vitamin C and fish oil. Sales
All
have
right,
spiked
this is channel 15 Arizona, you know. The other one was another channel. And this is 2021 again, February 5th. 3,000 view. You are going to are interested, people not interested in how to prevent themselves from getting sick? Or what's going on?
Only 42% since the pandemic began, as research in the U.S. and abroad appears to suggest a possible link between vitamin D deficiency and more severe COVID outcomes.
Right, backing up the claim. Research both in America and abroad suggests that vitamin D help build your immune system and thus will prevent you from having severe COVID or any severe flu or cold or respiratory illness. And the primary source of vitamin D, me never say supplementary, me never say secondary or anything. I said the primary source of vitamin D is direct sunlight on your body. You can also eat food that's been exposed to the UV, like mushrooms, fatty food, eggs, fresh water, cold water fish, salmon, things like those. You are guaranteed, but we're going to continue because she's going to have a doctor say the same thing again.
Research in the U.S. and abroad appears to suggest a possible link between vitamin D deficiency and more severe COVID outcomes.
Of course.
I'll admit, I take vitamin D supplements myself.
Okay, this is Dr. Rose Goldberg admitting that he take vitamin D supplement himself.
I think you're wrong taking supplements and trying to make sure your immune system is healthy, because the healthier you are in general, the better you're going to react to infections no matter what it is.
Sunshine is a primary source of vitamin D, but
You heard what she said. I want you to listen to what this lady said right here now. Listen what she said.
What it is.
Sunshine is a primary source of vitamin D, but
She did not say secondary source, you know. She said sunshine is a primary source of vitamin D. Now, if sunshine is a primary source of vitamin D, why did Anthony Fauci, the United States, and the entire world government told the people them who are healthy to stay inside, which is illegal under any constitutional law? It is illegal to tell healthy people that they cannot go about the world. You are guaranteed they cannot go around the world. And if you had said these things out loud, you are guaranteed YouTube shadow blocks it, or total right say that you're giving misinformation, or they demonize you like Dr. Batar and like Judy Mikovich. But Judy Mikovich teach me a lot of things that once you get certain vaccination, it creates a cytokine storm, which puts your body's immune system into overdrive to produce whatever whatever solution it deems necessary. So if your body goes through this cytokine storm, this revving up of the immune system, and cannot cool itself down, she says those are the people that unfortunately lose their life. And there have been many people that will die of flu, heart attack, kidney, all kind of thing every year. But guess what? Those are not the people that are being worried about. We're being told to stay inside, and when we know that sunshine, listen what she says.
Infections, no matter what it is.
Sunshine is a primary source of vitamin D, but diet and supplements can also contribute to overall levels in your body.
Diet and supplements, meaning they are secondary sources.
Low levels of vitamin D are common in people who are obese and smokers.
That's who the coronavirus attacked. Overweight, health, elderly, and people who were low immune system, meaning that they had an underlying problem.
CDC also listing those as underlying conditions.
Okay, the CDC, Center for Disease Creation. It's rare you listen to them, you know, but some of the common sense them is obvious. If you're overweight, the fat is going to be squeezing against your kidney, your lungs, your liver, your heart. And those organs are not going to be able to do its proper function. So, of course, you are more susceptible.
Increase the risk for severe COVID complications.
It's not a surprise that risk factors for one disease seem to be risk factors for other diseases.
But Dr. Ross Goldberg says the data just isn't there yet to prove or disprove a cause and effect relationship.
Lie. She just said that there has been many studies abroad, many studies in America. So how come there's not enough data? When you could tell me how many percent low in a vitamin D, magnesium, potassium. You took surveys. There have been researches going all the way back to the 90s that I've read, and I'm sure there's more research there. So why are you lying, Mrs. News Reporter? Why you are telling the people them that there's not enough evidence? Because that's a built-in excuse.
Or disprove a cause and effect relationship between a vitamin D deficiency and severe COVID complication.
Of course there is. If your immune system is low, meaning you're vitamin D deficient, you are going to be more susceptible to a respiratory or a viral infection. What you mean? Attack out of the wrong part of your body.
He does caution too much vitamin D can also be dangerous.
Listen
Like you can't put more gas in your car when you fill the tank. It is what it is. So if you try to put more gas in the car and then you try to drive away, the gas could catch on fire and the car could explode. So,
oh my God.
So you really it's always having that delicate balance of keeping your body in good, healthy condition.
The man made the analogy of taking vitamin D to the analogy of overfilling your gas tank. What's wrong with these people? If you take too much vitamin than your body needs, your body expels it through urine and feces. Is he a doctor? Vitamin D? So what you say now, the car will explode when you put too much gas in it? Which is a lie. It just overflow. You are going to, so what you try to say, if me take too much vitamin D, my kidney or my testes might explode. Oh, you never heard anybody body part explode because they take too much vitamin. Look how much athletes that take how much drugs and how much things. Are you for real, MD? Doctor, you take man for fall.
Always having that delicate balance of keeping your body in good, healthy condition and not overdoing it one way or another.
All right, so the bottom line, like so many things connected to this pandemic, the vitamin D question is something that needs more research. Now, meantime...
Oh, you see that? It needs more research. That's always the talking point. We need more research. And I lie them I tell. The amount of research that has been done, ladies and gentlemen, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. If you look up anything on vitamin D, ladies and gentlemen, they're telling you, Dr. Oz, all of them there is telling you why we need more vitamin D, more magnesium, because it builds your immune system. But 2020, nobody could suggest anything because the United States government, and not just you, the world government. You see the book? The world government has a plan of taking a slow march to intruding on the bodies of the human population. It's part of this whole plan, and it's happening so quick. You are going to see? It's happening so quick. They have destabilized the economy on purpose, has bought out ports and stations. They're working with business because business owners are part owners of the government. Most countries are businesses. That's how you have the president, the secretary, and all these entities. And the people are living in a social contract that they're unaware of, that they made a deal with the government to provide them safety because they're incapable of. And there are some facets of the government that has broken off from the original intention of the founding leaders of providing a stable, free, and democratic way of life under a republic constitution contract. So because these rich people have now usurped the system that was originally put in place, and the government, the people that are the simpletons that cannot realize that when me sick of the beach me go, and understand that your immune system is an innate part of the system that the Most High has created, and you are at one with the universe. And because them don't want you to have eyes wide open, they don't want you to see what's going on, they put you in a box called a home, put you in a box called an apartment, put you in a box with the ideology that they're out looking out for your best interest. They put you in a box with fear surrounding your life. They put you in a box with the trust of man when you know that man is the living, walking devil on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, for what it's worth, this man has been around since Bush, Clinton, Reagan. You are going to been around with Obama. Donald Trump did not like him because Donald Trump had other advisors and saw through the folly and the power grab. Because what the Democrats did was use Dr. Anthony Fauci to slew the last year of Donald Trump's election in 2014. There was a proposal to DARPA by the NIH, and DARPA refused to fund the research. The research was gain of function, ladies and gentlemen. NIH, headed by Dr. Anthony Fauci. You are going to. And Dr. Anthony Fauci then was turned down. He then gave a grant to Eco Alliance that partnered with the Wuhan Institute of Virology in Wuhan, China. They partnered with a researcher by the name of Ziling Leasing Me, I think her name is, but you could look her up. Her code name is the Bat Lady. The research was to extract the coronavirus and isolate the genome of the bats there in Wuhan. Now, it was successfully done, as research paper documents show, and you can look it up on the internet. Now, as Orange Man came into power, that's Donald Trump, and started hurling rhetoric towards China, for some reason, it was released. Now, in October of 2019, there was a forum in New York, a meeting of executives of world power such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, such as the UN Foundation, Yoganti. And the meeting was about a scenario of world pandemic, and it was about the SARS-CoV-2 virus. I think it's October 16, 2019, but it was in October, and the meeting took place in New York. Now, this is not a conspiracy theory. You could look it up. It's called Event 201. Event 201 depict the scenario of the SARS-CoV-2 virus hitting on a pandemic proportion worldwide, where you had the WHO representatives, the Bill and Melinda Gates representative, UN representative. When you look at the video, everyone is represented except for the melanated man. I say the black man, one black woman there, one melanated Indian man there from, I think, Singapore. And that's the only shade that was there. Everyone else was there. Orientals, Europeans, people from the Middle East. But I didn't see any African nation represented. But again, they have this puppet up there in Theodore's Ambrosium as the WHO world leader that's now still supporting the Tigrayan rebels attacking Ethiopia just because Egypt want Ethiopia to stop building the Ethiopian dam to provide electricity to its people. But that's another story. But we're talking about the sunshine vitamin, and we're talking about the corruption and the deception that the World Health Organization, the world government, has played on us again. Like George Bush said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you ain't gonna fool me again. But the quote really is, fool me once, shame on you. And fool me twice, it's shame on me. So the people them that has been ostracized, that has been deliberately lied to by Dr. Anthony Fauci and fascists of the world government, which is the UN, the WHO, the NIH, you are going to the NAID or the AIDs, the National Institute Health Alliance, the United States government, the Jamaican government, and all the other government that took part in this worldwide scenario. They lied to the people. They have deceived the people. And many people died unnecessarily because of isolation, because of depression, because of suicide, because of neglect of other underlying medical issues, and because there was one other man that was there to stand up and hold Dr. Anthony Fauci and the world accountable. They made sure they delete him off of Twitter, suffocated the Hunter Biden news report so them can kick him out so there's no further investigation of the criminal mind and the atrocities that Dr. Anthony Fauci has created on planet Earth. And there should be some kind of justification, but as you see on the screen, he's being held as a hero. He's going to be rewarded and promoted because I realize, just like the current administration come up with the diversity, inclusion, and the equity. Just spell it out. D-I-E. There's more money involved in you dead, and there's people that want you gone, especially people who resist and people who have intellect, people that can advise people and open their eyes, because they want us all living in a state of darkness, a state of ignorance, a state of belief, a state of murkiness. Because that's what they do. Speaking of the melanated people with vitamin D deficiency, because melanated people have melanin, and melanin protects you from the UV harms, the carcinogenic attributes of the sunlight. It became a negative in the case of COVID-19 because many are vitamin D deficient. Many black people in America are vitamin D deficient, and Dr. Buttar tried to draw our attention to it, but what they did, they deleted him off of YouTube. So that's why you never hear me talk about this topic much. When Dr. Judy Mikovits tried to tell us about the vehicle which they call the mRNA vaccine that carries messenger RNA into the ribose nucleic, the RNA, and triggers to change the DNA permanently. They denied it, but now it's being documented that is fact. But all the YouTubers and all the other people that interviewed Judy Mikovits and all her accounts, they all have been deleted, including some of mine. So that's why I haven't spoken about it. Now the melanated person, the black person, the black man, woman, and child that has been told to stay inside for the last 2 years is obvious. They said that over 1 billion people on planet Earth are vitamin D deficient, and in America it's rampant because of the air condition inside Liberty. I'm not saying that it's not good to be comfort, but because a melanated person has the melanin in their skin, ladies and gentlemen, and the European does not. Dr. Anthony Fauci and many medical doctors know that a European, a white person, does not need the same amount of sunlight exposure as a black person need. So what they did, they locked down the people to foster the environment of the deficiency of vitamin D. The black person need an hour and a half exposure, direct exposure to the sunshine, the sunlight per day. A European, a white person needs 15 minutes. So a black person needs an hour and 15 minutes more sunshine exposure to gain or garner the same vitamin D content. Now, vitamin D is necessary for the process and breaking down of certain chemicals in the body. You are going to see certain carcinogens. Vitamin D is very important for bone development and bone density, because if you don't have strong, thick bones as you get old, you deteriorate. And if you do get a fall, the fracture is more severe and harder to well back. A lack of vitamin D make you get brittle and fragile bones. A lack of vitamin D lowers the immune system. Now, if me a simple Rastaman, I may figure it out by reading and feeling weak. And when Orange Man gave the therapeutic suggestion, they laughed at him. And now the same therapeutic suggestions that were given by President Donald Trump is being recommended. It's just a ridiculous life that I've went through. And it's Dr. Anthony Fauci that is the mad scientist that has masterminded under the guise of public safety. As we know, a former President Abraham Lincoln said, you give up an ounce of your liberty for safety, you will lose it all. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus tell you, say, we not gonna know ourselves till we're back against the wall. And guess what? It appears that we're gonna stand there and allow freedom for the next generation to fall. To sit back and allow Anthony Fauci, Dr. Collins, even after you heard a former worker, Dr. Judy Mikovich, that they alienated and called crazy. Dr. Ebright explained that yes, there were gain of function. When Orange Man came up with the whole idea that this can be used, this we can outlive this. You know, see, Orange Man catch the virus and back out in 2 days. That was proof right there. When we see the NBA, I play in the bubble. They might show you, say, yo, follow us and stay in a bubble. A bubble is just not just a physical place, but also a mindset. My people, open up your mind and get some sunshine. The light of the world is here for us all to see. And some people don't want you to speak, so them cover up your mouth. Some people don't want you to communicate and gain the knowledge that is there for you, because that's how we learn. Not just by seeing, but also by hearing, speaking, criticizing. They have this terminology that they always saying on the TV when people question them. Follow the science. You don't follow science, ladies and gentlemen. You question science. That's how you can prove things. You question, does 1 and 1 equal 2? And how you do that? You go and say 2 minus 1. What you have 1 left. And if you take out that 1, the 2 out of the 2, you have 0. So it balanced. There's an equal equation. Science, same way. If I cut a tree slanted that way, I go back and I analyze where it pops an eye or bud. If it grows on the side that there are more sap, then I could prove that by going to another tree and doing the same thing. And if all of them or most of them comes on the side where the sap is most, then I've proven it. That's science. You constantly test and question to make sure, because different circumstances, even the environment can come up with a different result. So when a man I tell you, say, follow the science, no, you question it, meaning test the science, test it. Now, vitamin D is very, very important, my family and friends. How important it is, one of the most essential for the immune system. And like they showed you and they told you, AIDS was an immune deficient disease. And actually, like Dr. Judy Mikovich explained, it was also a virus. And she explained Anthony Fauci had hand in that also. And COVID have the same earmarks as the AIDS. It attacks the immune system. It's just in a airborne format. These are the foods you could take indulgence in, ladies and gentlemen. They say fortified food. That means it's added. A lot of people get their food, their vitamin D from fortified milk. I'm telling you, sunlight directly on the skin is one of the #1 primary source. There are food that you can eat and there are dietary supplements. But as Anthony Fauci and the government, the world governing leader, the United States government, the World Health Organization, the CDC, the British government, Australian, and the alliance on the military battlefield organized on the same socio-economic, under the neo-political agenda to create a one world order, like Joe Biden repeatedly said in his speech, because each of these presidents that get put in power, they always have to give their virtual signal to their hires. If you listen to him, he always talking about a liberal world order, and he's always talking about a new new norm. That's code word to his Illuminati brethren them. And the Illuminati brethren them is the rich oligarchs that you hear him always talk about, Russian oligarchs. Nobody no have oligarchs like America. You are gonna take his rich oligarchs friend them that took over the system in 1934. I have them sealed on the left side at the back of the $1 bill. You are gonna take. So when you hear them come out and start point the finger upon a certain topic, a certain subject, calling you certain name, certain denier, there's a reason. Because they are the one that's playing the game of control and chaos. They are the one that create the chaos, so they could run in and set rules and regulation in the disguise of the protection or a health of the public, or terrorism, or you're an election denier, or you're a bigot, or you're a racist, or you're you're phobia, or whatever. But that is the guise of the so-called democratic system. Because this system was created way back in Rome. This system in Greece. This system is not something that it was developed in America. You ask most people, where democratic come from? Democratic system come from? They'll say it's in America. No. This is one of those code words like freedom, where they will go all over the world, go all over the place in the name of democracy and murder, pillage, rape, and kill people. And the people them won't say nothing that they're murdering and killing and raping for. So what am I do? Them want to turn your mindset, because this whole thing that's been going on for the last 2 years, I've repeatedly told my friends and family all this information. It's just that me I put it on the YouTube now, because it appears that the YouTube taking foot off of my mouth on this topic, because we're living in a free and democratic world or society. That's why we live here. And you cannot speak freely about certain subjects and topic on a private network. They take you off. So it proves that the government are working with the private organization to violate the population, in which everyone recognize that the government can't do that. But what they do is they create a think tank called the Silicon Valley and pour billions and millions of dollars and give the private companies that are the techies and the geniuses the agenda. So they have created this thing called the internet, which is the web, to violate the movement, the speech of people by tracking them just because of what they have to say, not about what they have to do. So I'm going to come here, ladies and gentlemen, on the YouTube to give you a good hour talking, because I want to make the one you lengthy. You are going to big up on my family, them out of Senti. I'm burning a fire plenty upon the one named Dr. Fauci, because he knew that vitamin D is one of the most essential vitamins needed by the human structure to prevent any autoimmune viral disease. And they willingly, purposefully lock down everyone to decrease. That's the only worldwide thing you could have done to decrease the world's population level. One time of vitamin D, you lock them down. Tell them to stay inside. You didn't tell them don't go to school, don't go to church, You completely tell them to, till some people went outside marching, Australia, all kind of places. You could see police and people out there fighting in France, Denmark. They're out there trying to keep people inside when people just saying that I have the right to walk outside. And with the advice of the criminal mind, Dr. Anthony Fauci, with the advice of the world top mad scientists, against the counseling, the advice, the suggestion of other virologists, of other epidemiologists, which Dr. Anthony Fauci is not. People who are licensed and experienced, who have researched this particular field, who are banned, blocked, alienated, fired. There are people that lost their jobs because they did not want to take the jab. There are companies that made billions. And this was all a staging of what to come. Because what this did now, it drove the same people I told you was in that event 21 on 201 summit, where they had the scenario that the SARS-CoV-2 is a world pandemic and see how it would react, from the Bill and Melinda Gates to the UN Foundation to all those other prime players. They became billionaires in the time of the worst pandemic on planet Earth. And so many people died, lost their job, lost their livelihood. Children were put back in the dark ages purposefully. Everyone was directed to go on the web, to get caught on the net. You had no choice. I had to sit down and do a year and a half of college online. Because now, their behavior modification, they're changing the behavior of the people purposefully. They're putting us on a different schedule while getting inches closer and closer to getting inside. by creating this mindset that when there is a world health crisis, everyone need to kowtow, bow down, and take an injection from the government. Black people are not fall. We know the history of the experimentation upon the black nation. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, like, and share if you're this far in. You are going to, but I'm explaining to you. Dr. Anthony Fauci say he's gonna step down, and him shouldn't step down to nothing but a basement of a prison. It has been a total collaboration with government of different countries, businesses, organizations, whether it's from the internet manufacturing, views, clicks, and likes, whether it's from the software companies of Zoom and all these interaction programs, whether if it's the computer manufacturing. Don't you see that them just now I realize that, yo, we need to chip up all these people because we got away with violating a sealed vessel that the Most High has created. Now they're pushing for children that are shown to not to be affected by this strain of virus that is out there, and I have no kind of withdrawals of letting you know that the H1N1 and all these other flu virus is a part of the training and the same mRNA technology. Don't think that they have not been manipulating the flu through the vaccine. You are guaranteed. The mRNA technology is just a little new of using. So when they distribute these viral loads, there can be timestamp and time codes on them or reaction methods that if you interact with other injection or any other things, it could cause a problem. Many children can attest to this, that it's hard to learn, to hear the voice, or more difficult to communicate when someone has a mask over their face. You feel lazy on days when the sun don't come out. So they have created a habitual laziness of locking us down and keeping us inside from the proper nutrition balance and the proper harmonious interaction with the environment. We are losing ourselves. It's like putting a plant in a dark room. It will die. We are all plants. That's why we have limbs and we have fruits and we bear children which are young plants. We have seeds that we plant in the garden of the most, wonderful creation of the Most High. So when you take away another glorious, probably the greatest creation of the divine entity of our world, which is the sun, because we all knows that the sun makes the rain fall, evaporation, condensation, then precipitation. That's the Trinity in the process. We all knows the sun makes the breeze blow. Hot air rise, cold air fall. And there's a vector in between where they meet. So that's the Trinity of the breeze. We all know the sun make the plants grow. So animals could eat the plants so we can live on. It's called photosynthesis, the raining of the rays of the sun on the Most High's people and planet. We all know the sun is the world's clock. Every watch you wear is a sundial. So we all know the importance of the sun. And for the top scientist, the advisor to the President of the United States, which you know, when US sneeze, Jamaica and many other countries catch the flu. So any reaction, the United States oligarchy decide that needs to go down. Many of their allies have to fall in lockstep and barrel, because that's where the funding comes from. You are guarantee. That's where the funding, that's where the money, that's where the support comes from. My family and friends, it's a shame. It really is a shame. Yeah, it's really a shame that we have been hoodwinked. We have been bamboozled and railroaded. You are going to, we have been clubbernacled. We have been straight cold-cocked with this lie for a while. And it's not the first, and it won't be the last. And we as black people don't like to run in upon the medical advice of Europeans, because they have shown that they have not our best interest in mind. They have not the best interest for humankind. They have the best interest when it comes to their kind, and when it comes to having a hand in your life as if they are your gods. Because this is what this is all about. It's about getting everything chipped, getting everyone chipped, so they could play God. Because God is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Meaning him can see and hear everything. And right now the governments of the world has collaborated on that same old ideology that they have put in the Bible. Because they're the one that wrote the Bible. The governments of the world, Rome, Greece, England, and those strongholds at that time are the one that collaborated and transliterated, not translate, the metaneta that we know as hieroglyphics, and use concepts of, past ancestries to manipulate people. And as the mentality, the education, the perception, and insights of people develop and gravitate to a higher level, they come up with ideas how to push them back into dark ages, dark mindedness, by burning big libraries, fighting war, and destroying archaeology, sound proof of historic documents and historical facts. So a lot of these wars in the Middle East are purposeful to destroy the oldest historical knowledge on earth. And if you notice, a lot of those places have the sun on their wall. They have the sun as a iconography. They have the sun with the statues. They have the sun in pictures, in painting, because the sun in the sky is the true and living Son of the Most High that everybody calls the Son of God. And it heals all. It cures all sickness, or it burn you up and send you home to the Most High. Me nah lie. Vitamin D, the sunlight, a primary source. The government, the medical fraternity, Dr. Anthony Fauci know all of this. All of this. And they have suppressed the truth from the people. They have isolated the people, locked them inside told them it's illegal to go outside and bask in the sun on the beach, stop them from going to church so they won't have their faith and their religious belief as part of a medication, because they did not want to see that people can go on with their regular life, because it would influence the wrong reaction from the scenario that they participated in 2019 October called Event 201. Now, if you're interested in more knowledge, people, subscribe, like, and share, because I'm going to take it more often there. And I want you to research on your own. Does vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin, help build the immune system? Did Event 201 speak about the scenario of SARS-CoV-2 becoming a global pandemic? Leave your comment if I'm lying. If you know I'm telling the truth, leave your comment. I want you to give me a thumbs up. I want you to share this for my family. Because I want my people them to know that it is proper. It is important. It is very, very important to get the proper amount of sunlight exposure, because it is the primary source of vitamin D, and vitamin D is needed for the building of a strong immune system that's going to protect you from viruses like COVID-19 and help reduce the effect of immune deficiency syndrome such like AIDS and other viral loads such as flu. Why they did not tell people this? Why they didn't develop a whole bunch of vitamin D? Why they didn't tell people to use their time and go to the beach and suck up the sunlight, straighten up their immune system? I don't know. But me fire burn a liar, me fire burn Anthony Fauci and the lies that he's been telling. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and share this up. The melanated people, black people, need an hour and a half a day of sunlight exposure to get the proper amount of vitamin D from the primary source that provides it, which is the sun. White people need 15 minutes because they don't have the melanin that blocks the cancerous UV rays from the sun. So it's good. We can spend more time out in the sun. But in order to maintain a proper vitamin D level, we need to take supplements, eat fish, eat fresh cold water fish, like salmon, the egg yolk, the fortified milk, fortified cereal. Yeah, there's all kind of food that you can eat to up your vitamin D. I want you to look up Judy Mikovich. They block a lot of her things and call her all kind of name. But I'm telling you, I've been researching and listening to her since 2019, since this virus came out. And she is absolutely spot on. Don't let them fool you. Because when them fool you, they will try to roll you. I'm Rastafari Soldier here of Deep Roots TV. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that red subscribe button and share this file for me. Let your people them hear what I had to say. You are gonna tear.
Hello, my name is Ashina and welcome to Deep Roots TV. Pick up Deep Roots TV. Respect, make sure to tune in the air every time.